Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my California football predictions for the 2019 college football season. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated if you do that. I have a subscriber goal of 200 subscribers by August 24th, which I would love to hit. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. We're about 50 subscribers away. I'll greatly appreciate it if you do that, and you won't regret it. So, Cal, a team that seems to hover around that 6-7 win mark. They're going to try to get over the hump this year, but let's see if they do that. We'll go through the pros and cons, best case and worst case scenario, 3 toughest and 3 easiest games. Then we'll go through the schedule game by game. I'll tell you which games I have Cal winning and losing, give you a score as well, and then give you a final record prediction and conference record prediction. One other quick note before I continue. Don't hold me to the game I pick and the scores. Just hold me to the final record prediction and conference record prediction. But let's start off with the pros and cons. 1 pro and 2 cons. We'll start off with the pro. Your defense. The defense for Cal is going to be one of the best defenses in the Pac-12 and probably a top 25 defense in the country. So I definitely think the defense could bring Cal some wins. I think the defense could lead Cal to some wins this year. So that's why I'm going to say that the defense is a pro. You do have 2 cons though. Your first con is the offense. The offense is pitiful. I don't expect the offense to do much. A lot of the games for Cal are going to be low-scoring games, and the defense is going to have to win the games for Cal because this offense is probably one of the worst, if not the worst, in the Pac-12. So definitely the Cal offense is a con. And then the second con is the Pac-12 North. If you look at the Pac-12, it's blatantly obvious that the Pac-12 North is tougher than the Pac-12 South. If Cal was in the Pac-12 South, I'll probably just about guarantee that they make a bowl game. But since they're in the Pac-12 North, they got to go up against Washington, Oregon, Washington State, Stanford. I mean, they could lose all 4 of those games in the conference. Depending on who they draw out of the Pac-12 South, it could be a rough year for Cal. So definitely the Pac-12 North specifically has to be a con. Now let's go through your best case and worst case scenario. Here's the schedule right here in front of you. Your best case scenario is 8-4. I'm going to be honest with you. You look at the schedule on the road against Washington, on the road against Ole Miss, on the road against Oregon, on the road against Utah, on the road against Stanford. And even on the road against UCLA, I'll throw them in the mix. And Arizona State at home and Washington State at home. And basically every game on the schedule except UC Davis, North Texas, and Oregon State. They could lose all those games, possibly. I say they lose at least 4 of those, 4 out of the 9. And then your worst case scenario, 4-8. Out of those 9 games, I think the minimum is that you win one of those. I don't know which one if I had to pick one. But overall, best case scenario, 8-4. Worst case scenario, 4-8. 3 toughest games, Washington, Oregon, and Utah. You get all 3 of them on the road, which is really tough. And those are your 3 best teams in the Pac-12, in my opinion. So, and you get them all on the road. That's tough. Your 3 easiest games, UC Davis, Oregon State, and North Texas. The 3 teams I left out of those 9 games. Basically, UC Davis, FCS opponent, Oregon State, worst team in the Pac-12. And then North Texas, they are a good team. We just did a football prediction video, so go check that out. But they are a pretty good team down there. They have in Denton, Texas. Now let's go through the schedule game by game. I'll tell you which games I have Cal winning and losing. I almost called them Oregon State, but Cal winning and losing. Anyways, first game, UC Davis win. FCS opponent at home. I think it's a shutout, 38-0. I think Cal will pitch a shutout here. The defense will pitch a shutout. I just really think Cal against these FCS opponents, they shouldn't be even giving up points with that defense against FCS opponents. 38-0 Cal. Next game at Washington. This is going to be a tough game for Cal. Last year you beat Washington at home. This year is in Seattle. I think you play them really tough and keep it close, but at the end, if you already watched the Washington football prediction video, I do have Washington winning this game by a touchdown, 17-10. I think it's low scoring, but at the end, I gotta give it to Washington. They're the better team. Next game, North Texas. If you already watched the North Texas football prediction video, you already know who I have in this one. North Texas is one of those teams. They have a pretty good offense. This is going to be a good test for Cal. At the end, though, I do think Cal does come up on top. I just think they're more talented than North Texas. North Texas has a bad defense as well. I think Cal gets a comfortable win here, 34-21. Cal. Next game at Ole Miss. Ole Miss is one of those teams. They're going to be probably in the bottom of the SEC, but they're still going to look like an average team. They have a pretty good offense. This is going to be another good test for the Cal defense, and the defense for Ole Miss. They're improving a little bit, but it's not that good. I went back and forth with it. Cal kind of has to travel across the country some. I'm going to say Ole Miss wins this game by a touchdown, 35-28. I just think the Cal offense is going to come up a bit short in this one, and that will be the difference. Next game, Arizona State. This is a Friday night game at home. If you already saw the Arizona State football prediction video, you already know who I have in this one. I think this is low scoring. It's in Berkeley. I think Cal gets the win here. It might be a little bit of an upset. 17-13. Cal, low scoring. The defense carries the Cal against Arizona State, and that's the difference. Next game at Oregon. If you already saw the Oregon football prediction video, you already know who I have in this one. If you haven't, go check it out. But anyways, it's on the road for Cal. Oregon's one of those teams that I think is going to be contending for the college football playoffs. And I think there's like 12 to 15 teams that are going to be contending for. I think Oregon's one of them. I do think Oregon does pick up the win. I think Cal plays them tough, though. It's kind of low scoring, 23-13, Oregon over Cal. Then you get your first bye week. Every team gets 2 bye weeks because of how the calendar aligns with the schedule. Coming off the bye week, you get Oregon State at home. This is a homecoming game for Cal. This will be a win for Cal, a much needed win for Cal at this point. They're going to be 3-3 going into this game. I have Cal winning this game 34-9. Oregon State is going to have a decent offense, but that's just about it. Their defense is pitiful. Cal's offense will look good against Oregon State's defense. So give me Cal to win this one 34-9. Next game at Utah. Utah to me is the best team in the Pac-12 South. It's their division to lose, in my opinion. Utah is one of those teams. They have a really good defense. The offense is mediocre, but they have a really good defense. Cal also has a pretty good defense. I'll probably say Utah's defense is better than Cal's. I'll probably say Utah overall is a better team. The game is in Utah. Give me Utah to win a very low-scoring game, 10-6. Utah over Cal. I think it's that low scoring. Give me Utah to win that one. Then you get your second bye week, and then coming off the bye week, you get Washington State at home. Washington State's one of these teams that I think could go 9-3, but they could go 4-8. You look at Washington State; they're going to have a pretty good offense. The defense has really been growing the past few years and been improving under Mike Leach, even though he's an offensive-minded head coach. I went back and forth with this one. If you saw the Washington State football prediction video, you already know who I have in this one. I did went with Cal. The game's in Berkeley. I think that's the advantage for Cal. Kind of low scoring, 23-19. Cal over Washington State. I'm not saying Cal is better than Washington State. I think these teams are, matter of fact, pretty much even. Give me Cal though with the home field advantage. Next game, USC at home. If you watch my USC football prediction video, go check it out. You already know how I feel about USC. I think they are a disaster down there in Los Angeles. I picked Cal to win this one. I think this game is going to be closer than expected, though. 21-13 Cal over USC. I do think Cal is better than USC. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just think Clay Helton is a disaster. I think it's a absolute dumpster fire down there at USC. I think Cal wins this game, but USC has a lot more talent than Cal. I'm just gonna say that. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if USC turns around and wins 8-9 games. But I think Cal wins this game 21-13. Next game at Stanford. Stanford is one of those teams that are going to have a pretty good defense. The offense is going to be, I think, a little bit below average. I went back and forth with it. It's a big time rivalry game. The game is in Stanford. I think Stanford's the better team. I picked Stanford to win this one. If you already watched the Stanford football prediction video, you already know that I had Stanford. Very low scoring though, 9-3, Stanford over Cal. Then the final game at UCLA. UCLA is a team that some people think that's going to be only winning 2 games this year. Others think it could win 7, 8 games. I'm kind of in between on UCLA. I think that they could make a bowl game. They could not make a bowl game. This game is in Los Angeles. I went back and forth with it. I gave it to UCLA. I think Cal is the better team, but I gave it to UCLA by a point. 21-20 UCLA. And yeah, I think UCLA wins that game. But that's the game right there. If you count up all the wins and losses, I have Cal going 6-6 with a 4-5 conference record. 6-6 with a 4-5 conference record. You make a bowl game with that record, but you're kind of still in that stage. You're not getting over the hump with more than like 7, 8 wins. The good news about this prediction is that I do have y'all beating Washington State, which means you will be ahead of the standings. You will be ahead of Washington State in the standings. If you watch the Washington State video, I had the exact same prediction for them as well. 6-6 with a 4-5 conference record. So that's good news if you're Cal. But anyways, comment down below. Tell me what you think. I always like hearing from y'all. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated if you do that. Arizona football predictions are going to be out later tonight. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, and this is McD the Beast signing off.